Hello and welcome to Season 2 of Behind the Spires. I'm Ed, and this is...
Hi guys, I'm Molly, and we are your friendly neighborhood city employees.
Yes, come join us Behind the Spires, where we bring the business of Frederick forward, highlighting updates on Frederick's projects, policies, and those dang darn events.
Each week, we bring a special guest with us behind the Spires to introduce you to people helping shape life here at the City of Frederick. Today, we have a very special guest. We're joined by Council Member Peter Brehm, who represents District 3 on the Frederick City Council. And Peter was elected as the first person to represent the district under Frederick's new council structure. So very, very cool. We'll talk about what he's hearing from residents, how his first few months on council have been, and what issues are shaping the future of Frederick.
Yes. But before we get to that,
Yes,
we have our own news to go over.
what is it?
We're an award-winning podcast.
Wait a minute. Tell the people more. What award did we win?
We won a platinum award from AVA Digital Awards. They do a lot of digital video for government, for the private sector. So basically submit a nice video. We submitted the podcast. A group of judges decided it was really good. So we got a platinum.
It's basically an Academy Award.
I think so. So this can kind of live here for a little bit.
She's very pretty, and we'll name her, I think,
Yes.
this nice award that's in front of us.
But that's not all.
That's not all, folks?
That's not all, folks. We also are a 2025 best of the best finalists here in Frederick.
From the FNP?
From the FNP.
From the local Frederick News Post? This is very exciting. Ed, how do we get to be an actual, winner next time?
We just need y'all to...
We need about 5 more votes.
Yeah, something like that.
That's exciting.
Yeah, so if you're not watching us on video, you missed out on all that lovely awards. You can catch our lovely mugs here on YouTube at City of Frederick, Maryland. Of course, you can also listen to us on Spotify, Apple, Amazon, and all the other podcasting services where we're award-winning.
That's correct. And now, stay tuned for our interview with Peter right after this commercial break.
Registering for City Alerts is a great way to keep you safe if you live, work, or play and visit in the city. COF Alerts is the official City of Frederick emergency alert system that is designed to alert, warn, and notify residents and businesses of emergency situations. We use Frederick County government's Everbridge alert system to provide this critical service. You pick how we can reach you. You can receive alerts via text, email, and push notifications from Everbridge. COF alerts may be sent for emergency situations such as snow emergency declarations, police and security alerts, major water system issues, and hazardous weather. You may also sign up for automated weather alerts from the National Weather Service, such as watches and warnings for tornadoes, winter storms, and flash flooding. Remember, stay safe by staying informed.
And welcome back. We are here with Council Member Peter Brehm. Council Member Brehm, thank you so much for joining us today. For those who haven't had the privilege of meeting you yet, can you just share a little bit about yourself?
Sure. And so please call me Peter. I appreciate the honorific, but call me Peter.
Sure thing.
So I have lived in Frederick for 20 years. I moved here from Washington, D.C. And after moving here, I retired from my professional career in the printing industry and then started to work for Hood College in the IT department where I managed the budget, staffed the help desk, and did the purchasing. So I left that job and then decided I was bored, not really, and then ran for office. And so that was December the 11th of 2025 when I was inaugurated.
Yes, and that was such a special day.
It was lovely. Whoever organized that gets gold stars.
Hey,
so.
we know them.
Now, you were elected as Frederick's first District 3 council member. What made you decide to run for city council, and what were you hearing from residents while you were out campaigning?
Okay, get ready. So first, the reason I ran was because of the charter. As you know, under the Board of Aldermen, and then they renamed themselves council members, it was 5 at-large people.
Mhm.
The charter, again, as you know, divided the city into 5 districts with 2 at-large. And I thought, you know what? This is the first time since I've lived here where there will be direct political accountability between the people who live in the district and the people they're electing. And I can do a good job being that guy. So that was the catalyst for me running. I knocked on a lot of doors and heard a lot of opinions, but the key things that the citizens, at least in District 3, had as concerns, and I'll parse it into 2. From a micro standpoint, it was all about constituent services. I call, nobody calls back.
Mhm.
I have an issue, the issue is never resolved. And that's where, again, I thought, okay, I can help with that. The second is on the macro level. And on the macro level, the biggest issue that citizens, at least in District 3, are concerned about is the perception or the reality that our city's development is not being managed. And so that was the number one. Lots of other issues are out there. Speeding was one. Sidewalks was one. That kind of straddles constituent services and macro issues because, as you know, sidewalks are expensive and citywide we have them. So, but that development was number one in terms of, I am worried, I was told by constituents, I am worried that the city does not have a good handle on the amount of development that's taking place and then the infrastructure that's required to support that development. Second, behind that was we need more affordable housing. So even people who live in District 3, many of whom are well-to-do and have a house and are comfortable, recognize that we need to do a better job with affordable housing. And I would build upon that by saying, sometimes people say, oh, affordable housing, this is people who are poor. No, these are working professionals who can't afford, given the salaries we're paying, can't afford the expensive housing that's now in Frederick. So that includes police officers and teachers and medical technicians. And yes, baristas. I understand that's part of the workforce as well. But philosophically, and I'm not alone in this, we need to have a city where everybody who wants to work or live here has an opportunity to find a place to live, because we want folks to live and work and play, recreate in the same place.
Oh, sure.
Amen. So you mentioned District 3, you mentioned the new charter and the new election districts that were developed. For people who aren't familiar yet, and there are some out there, of what each election district is, what parts of the city are in District 3 and what stands out about District 3?
I did my homework.
Oh, good.
So first, I will give you the geographic boundaries, but then I
Okay.
also wanted to share with you the neighborhoods that are encompassed within it.
Yes.
So first, from a geographic standpoint, Route 15 on the west, the southern edge of the city on the south. On the east, it's Riverside Industrial Park and the airport. That's the eastern side. And the northern, it kind of bumps along. So starting with Route 15, it's West 7th Street. And then at east, it drops down to East 5th Street. And as you know, 5th Street now curves and hits East Church Street. And so it's everything south of East Church all the way out to, again, Riverside Industrial Park. And Riverside becomes because it's Frederick, and why would we keep the street names the same?
Of course.
Church Street becomes Monocacy Boulevard suddenly in the middle of...
That was the biggest thing when I moved here. I was like, oh, this is not the street I was just on, because I crossed over another street. So what stands out most about District 3? Like, what are some...
Oh, I'm sorry, and to back up on your question.
Yeah.
So the neighborhoods that get picked up
Yes.
are on the west, Westbrook and Brigadoon and Baker Park and Carrollton and Field Point, and then downtown, and then Clark Place. I don't know if that's the neighborhood, but I call it Clark Place, between the Maryland School for the Deaf and the Costco, that neighborhood. Sagner, and then heading east, Wren Quarter. All of the new development out at Wren Quarter. So those are the neighborhood names that are part of that. So can you re-ask your question about District 3?
So what stands out most about District 3? Like, what are some... what stands out most about the neighborhoods? Like, what is it known for?
Well, to me, there are several aspects that make it a unique place. The first is the range of people who live in District 3. So we have among the wealthiest neighborhoods and some of the poorest neighborhoods. So there's that. We have some of the people who are oldest and some of the people who are youngest. So we have that diversity as well. From a density standpoint, we have downtown, which is as close as we're going to get to urban in the city of Frederick. And then we have, again, Westbrook and Baker Park and Wren Quarter, which are kind of different flavors of, I don't want to say suburban, but definitely not as urban as the downtown is. And the last, and I'm going to steal Sarah Hempel, council member Sarah Hempel Orani's comment. Richard Griffin, City Office of Economic Development, gave us a tour. It was wonderful, a tour of different projects that the city is pursuing, both residential and commercial. And we would stop somewhere, and Richard would explain what this project was all about. And Sarah would say, well, what district are we in? I would say District 3. And so every answer was District 3. And so Sarah said, you've got everything in District 3. I said, well, just about.
Yeah.
So, and that's the last, is we have residential, but also an enormous commercial manufacturing infrastructure. It's behind the airport. It's out on Gas House Pike. It's kind of Dairy Maid, certainly, which straddles 3 and 4 in terms of districts. So it's got all this variety and mix as part of it. So it's not just one flavor. It's 23 flavors in one district. So.
And that makes sense why people were asking about all the development projects and had an interest in planning and affordable housing, because you have it all in District 3.
Well, and perception is reality. So I understand, and people who ask will understand that planning projects don't show up overnight. It takes years to get from I'm going to buy the land to I'm going to actually start constructing a building on it. However, all of those plans for Brickworks and the development on South Street, the terrace development, the junction, which is just up the street, all of those all showed up pretty quickly. Now, Brickworks isn't under construction, but it's far enough along that people say, oh, I understand that that's coming. So all those taken together, and the neighbors are going, well, what happened? How did this happen all of a sudden? Now, again, it didn't happen all of a sudden, but the projects all began to come to fruition in a very tight period of time. And so that's when people said, oh, this is really a lot of development in a really short amount of time and in a relatively small area. So it's something like 1,000 units are now within a mile of Square Corner. And so that's just a lot. And that's what has people anxious. And I completely understand that.
Yeah.
Now, you've been on the council for a couple months. What has surprised you the most?
The biggest surprise has been coming from a world of private industry and nonprofits and even church work, because I'm president of the Evangelical Reformed United Church of Christ, which, again, think of it as a nonprofit, but with a spiritual dimension. If something needs to be done, well, we call a meeting and we figure it out and then we do it. Well, that's not exactly how government works. And so I maybe intellectually I knew that, but when you're actually in the midst of the process, and my favorite example is, and God bless Clara Jackson, because she's the person who's helping city council members, and she's very patient, which is a gift. And so I would say, well, this is what we're going to do. And she'd say, well, we need to make sure the agenda is published in advance along with all the handouts.
Right.
Well, why is that? Well, because the Open Meetings Act.
Right.
And so I absolutely understand, support it, but it's stuff like that that goes on. And then the other related to that is I think the City of Frederick government has more people in it than the private company I work for. And so I understand it takes time to turn a battleship, and you have to check in and consult with a lot of people in very frequent manner in order to make sure everybody's aware of what's going on. The factual day-to-day operational aspect of that has been a surprise.
Right.
So absolutely understand why.
Yeah.
We can't just say, everybody, okay, we're going to go east. No. We have to kind of pre-message, talk about it, and kind of work our way through any kind of sudden change.
Yeah. One of the things that is inspiring about the way you work is you are at everything. So you're at city council meetings, you are at other public meetings that aren't city council, you're at some of our all of our cultural celebrations so far, the turkey giveaway. We always see Peter, which is awesome. And it definitely shows that you are like connected to the community and to residents. So when we've heard a little bit about when folks reach out to you from District 3, but do you have like a specific example of when someone reached out to you about a problem and you were like able to help move it forward so far in your council tenure?
Well, yes, it's my least favorite example. And this isn't District 3, but, and I got to back up. Early during the campaign and early after the inauguration, a couple people, not a lot, a couple people said to me, well, you're just representing District 3. And I said, no, I'm representing the city of Frederick with special emphasis on the constituent needs of
Right.
District 3. And they were not happy with that answer, but that's too bad because all 7 of us believe that our job is to represent the entire city because it's not 5 districts in search of a city. It's one city that has 5 districts in it. So with that being said, residents from Homewood reached out to me because the current Homewood management turns out is alleged to be homophobic. And that's a problem, especially to the LGBTQ plus residents who live there. So folks know that I'm part of the LGBTQ plus community, so they reached out to me, which is great. And I have made sure that Joe Adkins, who is the District 4 council member, is aware of this. But the fact is, they knew that they had a voice and backing in City Hall to help them deal with that issue. And so we're in the midst of it. We'll see where it all ends up. But I take great pleasure in being able to provide that kind of service and visibility to an issue, not only because it's my community, but also because that particular institution is so important to the whole city of Frederick and actually the whole county, and even regionally, it has a lot of residents. And we need to make sure that it's being operated in an equitable manner.
Absolutely.
So,
This is a good shout out for us to, you're not watching City Minutes, watch City Minutes, because we're compiling all of the discussions, information from the city council meetings and putting them in a quick, 90 seconds. And we put that in the City Minute that, not exactly what the issue was, but that Councilmember Brehm raised an issue going on at Homewood. And when we were watching it, I was like, is that in District 3? And it's not, it's in District 4. But to your point, you guys represent the whole city.
right.
That's awesome.
Now, if someone in your district has a concern, whether it's like traffic, development, something happening in the neighborhood, in your district, what's the best way for them to get in touch?
The best way is to use my City of Frederick email, pbrehm@cityoffrederickmd.gov.
Oh, that was good.
Notice how I memorized that.
And we'll put it down here. So.
Yes, we'll put it, if you're watching, we'll put it.
Now, there's also the contact your council member, and that's fine. It's a lot easier to send me a detailed email than it is to type into the box at the City of Frederick. So the form is fine, but people tend to say, I have a problem, and they send it. Whereas if it's an email, it's a 3-paragraph with lots of detail, which is, I love that.
Yes.
The least favorite, just to say it, the least favorite is a phone call.
I find most people these days.
And that's probably just, but that's like
call.
logistical too, because like you mentioned, you get an email, you have in writing exactly what you need to, what you need to follow up with. When I get an email, I'm like, where's my pen? Like,
Right.
It's not always so easy.
Right.
So what are some of the everyday issues that people may not realize the city council is involved in?
I don't think people know that city council is the final stopping place for purchase orders and contracts. And I realized that, and this was true for me before being elected, that stuff is invisible. It's important. And I think everybody would say, well, yeah, of course that's important. But it is not something that is top of the mind in terms of everybody's world. They just think the streets get paved, the sidewalks get repaired, the cars get bought for the police and the DPW. But no, there's this big process behind it, a contracting process and a purchase order and then approving the payment. And so that kind of is invisible to the broader city, but really important to keeping the wheels on the wagon as far as the city's operations.
Yeah.
So,
and you mentioned back to planning, like the detailed process it takes to like get a development even into like the approval stage of design. And I would say I would ask people to watch the public meetings because you can see something go from, a workshop to like a planning commission hearing to city council going back and then city council votes on it, whatever it is. It's really interesting. And I think if we all like learned a little bit more about how the city worked, a
little more understanding of
Yeah,
this.
exactly.
well, if folks had time, I agree with you. The
Yeah.
3 most important boards, that doesn't mean the others aren't important,
Yeah.
but the commissions or boards are planning, historic preservation, and zoning. Those 3.
Mm-hmm.
And you're right. If we had the time and the energy to look at the tapes to see how projects get introduced and then how they wend their way through the process, that's very helpful. In fact, I have for the last year been going to as many planning and HPC meetings as I can because I learn better sitting and watching and listening than looking at the tape afterwards.
Right.
But it really is important and interesting to see how what the planning department suggests, what the commissioners suggest, and what the public suggests, how that has to kind of come together into a decision that comes to city council.
Yeah, ultimately.
Right.
Yeah, that's right. Another shout out. Watch the City Minutes. 90 seconds. We're doing HPC, Planning Commission, and the City Council public meetings. You get all of the information, every vote that was taken.
Try to get in a nice little bite size.
That's right.
On the go lifestyle. Now, housing and growth are big topics in Frederick right now. From your perspective, how does the city grow while still protecting what people love about it?
I think it ends up boiling down to careful planning. And let's use a specific example that's current. And I have no opinion about it because I'm going to have to vote on it. But just to give you an example, accessory dwelling units.
Mhm.
Speaking for people who I know in District 3, my neighbors, my constituents, no one is opposed to accessory dwelling units. The concerns about the proposals that are being brought forward is how does the proposed ordinance affect the characteristics of the neighborhood, the neighborhood character, and along with that, the parking and the traffic and allied issues like that. And so I spin that forward to multifamily housing, to single room occupancy housing, to tiny homes, to you pick the type of housing. I think people are okay with all of that. At least I hope so. I hope we're not in a NIMBY world in Frederick. I don't believe we are. I think people, because again, people kept saying to me, we need affordable housing. So I think
Right.
folks are on board with that.
Mhm.
What they're concerned about is that it's affordable housing that is in scale and character with the neighborhood in which it's being planned. That is the issue. If somebody is expressing to me anxiety about the terrace, which is not affordable housing, that's market rate housing, their concern is traffic. And so that's the big one right there. As it pertains to the junction, that is affordable housing, and the issue there is parking and traffic. So nobody's ever said, well, that's affordable housing, get rid of that. No, that's affordable housing. And what about the traffic? What about the parking? What are we going to do about it? So that's the type of stuff that folks are concerned about. But how we're going to accomplish both is, I think, with scaling
Mhm.
these projects so that the infrastructure, especially traffic and parking, can accommodate. And by the way, because somebody who's going to watch this and say, clearly this is a delusional person, I understand that the City of Frederick, which was founded in 1745, is using a street pattern that is not created for 2025. So to wit, our major north, south, and east-west streets we don't have that many.
Mhm.
Patrick Street and Monocacy Boulevard and maybe Schifferstead if you want to wind around.
Mhm.
And then the alleys that we're using, Carroll Street becomes an alley, and that's a major north-south corridor. So we're limited in terms of our traffic pattern and our traffic flows, and I get that. So we're just going to have to figure out how to work within that as we build out some of these affordable housing projects.
Yeah, and I feel like ADUs, you are correct. That is like the buzzword of
Mhm.
the last couple of months. So we'll definitely have to have you guys back on to talk more about as that keeps progressing. 'Cause I know you were at the Planning Commission meeting this week, and that was a big topic of public comment and among the commissioners.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's a lot of discussion. I mean, to your earlier point about government is not a business, and businesses are there to see how much money we don't give our employees or how much profit we can make. And that's the opposite of government.
right.
Government is like, how do we help people and how do we make their lives better?
But that's one thing that I knew it was the case, and I have been delighted to see it come true, where the commissions and the boards and council meetings and council workshops are an opportunity for citizens to come and say, I like it, I don't like it, and in both cases, here's why.
Yeah.
And my favorite example, and I gave him a shout out, was we were talking about TOD, traffic oriented development, if I've got that acronym right.
Yeah.
And East Frederick Rising came and testified in favor of it because they had studied it in depth. And I told them from the dais, this is great. And I really appreciate your doing it because it almost doesn't matter what I think or that my council members think. What matters is somebody who's living and representing that neighborhood has dived into the issue, analyzed it, and said, yeah, this makes a lot of sense. I need to hear that. I also need to hear the opposite. This doesn't make a lot of sense. But in this case, it was a very
Yes.
positive reinforcement of why that was a good idea.
Informed constituents, like you're their representative, so it makes you. That's it. Like you're
my job
representing
is to
them.
listen.
Yes. Oh, that's so great, Peter. So happy you're here.
Now we're running a little short on time.
Sorry.
So just one final question before we get into our quick round trivia.
Oh,
If there was one thing you'd encourage residents to do to stay connected to city government, what would it be?
Just one.
Hey, if you got more.
Okay, so number one is go to your NAC meeting, your Neighborhood Advisory Council meetings.
Yes.
And we're working on legislation to kind of get those back up and running to where council thinks they ought to be. But if there's a local issue, the Neighborhood Advisory Council is the place to begin by discussing that issue. So that's my lecture too.
I love it.
And so the second one though is pay attention to the public meeting webpage. City of Frederick, is that the correct name for public meetings?
Yeah, we actually have a shorter link, so it's frederickmd.gov/public meetings.
Public meetings.
Yes.
And at the very bottom of that page, note to file, we should push it further
Okay.
up the page, but at the very bottom of that page,
Roger.
there's a listing of all of the meetings that are coming up, and then you can click on the agenda. Click and look at those agendas, especially for council meetings, planning meetings, and HPC meetings, and zoning meetings. So look at those four. If you see a project on there that you know something about, or you're aware of, or is next door to you, or anything like that, please either come to the meeting or look at the tape. And if you want, provide feedback, because feedback can be either digital online or in person, or there's lots of ways of getting that feedback. But again, back to that earlier point, that constituent involvement with the topic, either for or against, is really helpful. And it really is helpful because, again, that's people who are living in that area providing commentary. I will not always agree. I don't think my council members will always agree with every opinion offered. That's okay too. But the fact is we need to hear it. We need to hear it.
Absolutely. And give a shout out for the city minutes as well. Watch the city minutes because they give a overview of that meeting for that week.
Perfect.
Big proponent.
I feel like we're
this-
kindergarten teachers.
That's right.
Pick up your crayons.
Peter, thank you so much for joining us. I hope you come back. I hope
Absolutely.
if there's like a project or something coming up that you really want to talk about and you want more people to know about it, I hope you come and help us educate everyone on it. But before we go, we do have quick round trivia for you.
All right, one more, just a shout out this morning.
Yes.
Oh,
I
yes,
went to the
yes.
motor vehicle department out on Bowman's Farm.
Yeah.
Bowman's Farm.
Yeah, Bowman's Farm.
And the Maryland Department of Military and Veteran Affairs just opened an office there because the logic being, if I'm going to go get my driver's license renewed or I'm going to go get my TS pre-check, why not also have the Veteran Services right there in an office? So
Smart.
they just opened it today. Citizens Service Center is kind of how it ends up being.
Okay.
So that was the ribbon cutting. So if you are a veteran or you know a veteran, then there's a place where you can go to actually check in on services. And a gentleman there said, a lot of people think that a veteran has to be somebody who's been in a military conflict. That's not true. A veteran is somebody who has been in the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, one of the service groups. So it's for all veterans, and they really want to make sure people know about that. So
You don't have to have been deployed. You just have to have been in the service.
that's correct.
Fantastic. Oh, good. I'm glad we got that shout out in.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, Peter, we have quick round trivia. This should be easy though for you. Ed, do you want to start it off?
Yeah, I'll start us off.
And give us your quick answers.
Quick, once I say it, just right off the cuff. So, coffee, tea, or something else to start the day.
Coffee,
Of course. One Frederick event or tradition you never miss each year.
peanut butter tent at the 4th of July.
Oh my
Ooh.
gosh, I love that answer.
You've got to
I've
go.
never done it.
You've got,
What
so
is
short
it?
story.
Yeah, please.
The Celebrate Frederick sets up a free peanut butter and jelly tent in the middle of room 1 of Baker Park.
Yeah.
And so these families trudge by and they've got 12 kids and everybody's hot and everybody's whining and complaining.
Yes.
Yes.
And so we say, free peanut butter and jelly. And it's just like,
Heaven, manna.
I can't believe it. And they think, well, what do we have to pay? Nothing. It's free.
free for you?
Free peanut butter and jelly on the 4th of July.
You can't beat that.
These
You
people
can't-
are at the end of their rope with their kids. Everyone's out there like, thank God.
Right? They're hungry. They're hot. So no, water, peanut butter and jelly. What? So
Oh my gosh, go visit Peter at the peanut butter tent. Okay, last one.
All right. If a visitor had just one afternoon in Frederick, where would you send them first?
I would send them to the visitor center, and then based upon that, I would make sure that they took a tour of the Carroll Creek Linear Park.
Ooh.
And then based upon that, they would have a wealth of things to go do, like the Delaplane, the Civil War Museum of Civil War History Museum.
Yeah, medicine. Yep.
Thank you. But again, everything unfolds once you go to the visitor center and get the outline, and then Carroll Creek, I think, is magnificent. Shout out to Ron Young for his vision in getting that done. But then the whole city kind of connects from there.
So go check out Visit Frederick at the Visitor Center. They have everything you need to know. Peter, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
And we hope you will come back, and we will be back right after this.
Thinking about starting a business? In the City of Frederick, your imagination knows no bounds. With the Department of Economic Development's help, you can take the leap to become an entrepreneur. We'll help you fire up your business plan. See the resources around you, build relationships with community partners, and create a clear, clean path to opening your business. Together, we will plant your ideas and watch them grow. Let's get your business off the ground. Contact the City of Frederick for resources to start your small business today.
And we're back.
We are back.
Oh, and Ed's got the best of the best. Well, Ed, that was Councilmember Peter Brehm, District 3's very first representative on the Frederick City Council. And it's so interesting to hear how someone's first few months are going after they get in office, after the inauguration as you know, the hubbub has kind of died down. And once the meetings and the agendas and all the late night votes start piling up.
Oh, yeah. It's also interesting to hear, what they expected council to be. And then when they're actually on it, how different it was. Like, Peter said, it's just, there's some unexpected things.
Exactly. Like everything just pops up.
And I think residents sometimes forget that local government is a lot about listening.
Right. Like you said.
Yeah. So council members spend a lot of time hearing from neighbors, community groups, and city staff about everything from development, transportation, to parks, to day-to-day neighborhood concerns.
Exactly. And he talked a lot about that and how the conversations that he is having when he is, getting his emails or phone calls from folks in District 3, how that is shaping everything that's going on at City Hall. And something we always want to remind people of, that City Council meetings, work sessions, those committees that he talked about, HPC, the Zoning Board, and the Planning Commission, those are all open to the public.
They are.
And so you can attend in person or watch them online. We're going to give another shout out to frederickmd.gov/public meetings. And one thing that we did not mention in the interview is you can go find those agendas, and you can also, there's a section where you can put in your email and sign up to receive the agendas once they're published. So go to frederickmd.gov/public meetings. There's a place where you can put your email address in and sign up to receive those agendas.
Right. And if you're curious about what's coming up, or you want to see what council has been discussing, you can head to the page and you'll find everything there.
Everything is there. And you don't have to watch the entire meeting. I don't know if we've mentioned this. Those meetings do sometimes run long.
Yeah, maybe, it could be 30 minutes or it could be like 24 hours.
Yeah, 24 hours maybe is a stretch. But, sometimes the discussion and the public comment, it gogoes into the 3-4 hour mark. So we have been working on something new, a couple of new things that make it easier to keep up.
That's right. Behind the Spires now has a short news update format. You might have heard us mention it earlier, where we highlight the key things residents may have missed right now and what to look for in the coming weeks.
Yeah, just think of it as kind of like a quick briefing on what's happening around in the city, new projects, major discussions, just like we're talking on here, but more succinct. So that's our new Behind the Spires update.
Yes.
But there's also another one we might have mentioned a couple times.
Yes, also that one where it's a city minute update, which breaks down the council and the planning commissions, like in plain language, something that you can understand.
Exactly. And like Ed mentioned, they're bite-sized chunks. It's not, you don't have to watch the whole 3 hours. And those are all on our social media. So we publish the city minutes, the city planning minutes, and the new city preservation minutes after following the public meeting. So it shows everything that was either voted on or discussed. And those are available also on YouTube. Yeah,
anywhere the city's got a video platform, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Go watch it.
Yes, go watch it and stay informed. Come to public meetings.
Now, of course, we would like to hear from you.
That's true.
If you have any questions, topic ideas, or someone you'd like us to interview, you can send us an email at behindthespires@cityoffrederickmd.gov.
That's Behind the Spires at cityoffrederickmd.gov.
You know what? It's Behind the Spires at cityoffrederickmd.gov. And if you enjoy the show, remember to like and subscribe on Spotify, Apple, Amazon, YouTube, all the big services there.
All the places.
And before we dip on back behind the spires, we ask just a teeny tiny little favor. Tell your friends about your time here with us. And if you get a chance, leave us a 5-star review. You can do that right in your podcasting app, and it helps more people discover the show.
And thank you so much for spending some time with us today.
Yes, thank you. And we'll see you next time. And remember, kindness costs us nothing, but it means everything. Happy season 2!
Bye, guys.